like I usually know exactly what I'm going to do and what order I'm going to do it and how long it's going to take. And now I'm all just like discombobulated. Have you ever had that feeling? It's so weird. It just started my morning off in just the craziest vibe. And I bring that up because I do not want you to drastically change your routine prior to your event. And I also do not want you to change your routine during your event. And you're going to say, Sarah, but that's like impossible. There's all these extra demands on my time. And I'll push back on that and say, with proper planning, you can fit in the stuff that makes you feel like you and gets your mind right and your body tight. All the things that you need. How are entrepreneurs like us daring bravely to build a stage, ditch the sweatpants, and step up to the mic? How do we create our own transformative events so we can get our message out into the world in a bigger way that's not only profitable, but it's actually something we can be proud of? That's the question. And the answers are inside this podcast. My name is Sarah Pfeiffer. Welcome to Green Room Central. So during your event is never the time to change your morning routine. In fact, I would argue that the 2 months before your event is not the time to change your morning routine. And I know based on the title of this episode, you might have been thinking that I'm going to chat about what's happening within your morning routine, but that's not the case. I'm certain that you got this far in your entrepreneurial journey because you've dialed in your routines. And I'm guessing that you have something that is working really, really well for you right now. And that is one of the factors that has contributed to the success that you have enjoyed thus far. And so I want to talk about how we carry that into an event season and into the days of your event itself. That's what's happening today on the podcast. You know, your morning routine grounds you. It sets up boundaries. It helps us feel safe. So this morning, this is why I wanted to record this episode for you. So this morning, my morning routine got all changed up. I have a colonoscopy next week. I know you're like, too much information. Yeah. And so starting today, I can't have any seeds. And my morning routine consists of having the same smoothie every single day. Spinach, blueberries, hemp seeds, chia seeds, flax seeds, banana. I throw it all in a blender with some water and it tastes like I'm drinking the front lawn. Oh, and some, what is it? MCT oil, I think. It tastes like I'm drinking the front lawn, but it's really good for me. And I know how I'm going to feel afterwards and how long I'm going to feel full. And so this morning when I am faced with, oh wait, I can't put blueberries in there. I can't put like all of those seeds, chia and hemp and flax that I would normally put in there. And I'm like, well, I don't want to just drink spinach and a banana. That seems weird. So I did plan ahead and got protein powder, but it felt a little, I was like, well, maybe I'm going to need more than just this. So then I had a bowl of cereal. I don't ever have cereal. It's not even my favorite thing. And so I'm feeling a little awkward. It's taking me longer to complete this whole process because I'm like, I usually know exactly what I'm going to do and what order I'm going to do it and how long it's going to take. And now I'm all just like discombobulated. Have you ever had that feeling? It's so weird. It just started my morning off in just the craziest vibe. And I bring that up because I do not want you to drastically change your routine prior to your event. And I also do not want you to change your routine during your event. And you're going to say, Sarah, but that's like impossible. There's all these extra demands on my time. And I'll push back on that and say, with proper planning, you can fit in the stuff that makes you feel like you and gets your mind right and your body tight, all the things that you need. But it takes planning, and it takes way more planning than it would normally take for your regular day or week. And so what do I mean by that? What I want you to do is I want you to plan ahead in great detail on how your morning routine and even your evening or midday routine, whatever is sacred to you, how is that going to fit into your event schedule? Okay? And I don't want you to glaze over this topic and think that this is important. It's very, very important. And you spending some time with your assistant and your team now to figure this out will help smooth the road so much more when it comes down to your event going off as you wanted it to go off, while you feel the way you wanted to feel during that event. I want you to plan in great detail your self-care too. So not only the routine, which probably includes some self-care pieces, but any other self-care pieces throughout the day. So I want you to decide what you will eat, when you will eat it. I do not want your assistant coming up to you in the middle of a rehearsal in the morning asking you, hey, what do you feel like for lunch? That is not a decision that you should be making at that moment, or even that day, or during that week. That is not your task. Your task is being firmly grounded in the present, doing your rehearsal. It's presenting, it's interacting with your guests. It is not deciding what and when you're going to eat. I know this is going to sound so silly, but years ago when I was doing a lot of event planning, I would order room service for breakfast and have it delivered to my room in advance of going down for the day. And so super early, like, let's say like 5 a.m, I would have breakfast delivered. I normally don't eat that early. And there would be a full breakfast buffet waiting downstairs, and I would not choose to eat that. I would choose to eat in my room. And here's why. I would want the peace and quiet. I would want to know that I was going to eat, and I was going to want to choose what I was going to eat. I knew, because I tested this. I just don't want you to have to test this. I knew that as soon as I left my room, that there was going to be so many demands on my time and my ability to make decisions that it would not happen. I would put myself second, third, fourth, fifth, last. And so I wouldn't eat. And then it would get to the end of the day and I still wouldn't have eaten. And so I knew that I had to put myself first, and I had to order room service, and I had to eat that food before I left the room. And so I don't know what it's going to be for you. That might not be it. But you're going to need to figure this out, because you cannot serve at your highest and best if you are angry, right? Okay. The next thing I want to talk about is how, back to that conversation we just had about making the decision of what to eat and when to eat, and that's not your task that day. That goes back to that whole conversation we had around decision fatigue last week in episode 28 when we talked about sleep and events. So go back and listen to that if you haven't heard it yet, because I want to make sure that you understand that all of these choices, all of these things that you're doing to set yourself up for success is going to help your sleep too. But back to self-care, I want you to choose clothes. I want you to have decided what outfit you're going to wear on what day. And I want you to know if it's ironed, and if it's not, who's going to iron it. And I want you to set out your clothes for the next day. And if that day you know that you're going to come back up to your room and change before going down to dinner, then have that outfit laid out too. And And I'm not someone who's a fashionista by any stretch of the imagination, but during an event, I will always pre-select my clothes. I will always lay them out. I will always have them ironed the day before. And so I want you to make those decisions in advance. It's going to help you so much. You're going to be so grateful that this isn't something that you need to worry about. It does not have to be on your task list on the day of your event. This morning, another thing that is totally thrown off my day is that we're having the craziest weather in Portland this week. Like on Monday, it was like 100 degrees, and today it's maybe in like 60. And so I went from like my normal routine of I always wear the same pair of black pants and the same t-shirt, very Steve Jobs, to now being like, well, wait, is today going to be shorts or like weather? Do I need a sweatshirt or is it t-shirt? And so because I'm even thrown off because my normal routine of what I put on has gotten all changed up today. So I want to underline this point for you, because when it gets to your event, the impact of you getting thrown off a little will exponentially, like the impact will be exponentially larger. Do you follow? I hope you can see how these dots connect during like the pressure cooker that is running your event. So I hope all of this was helpful today. If you have questions, I want you to pop them into the free community, Linchpin Nation. You can join over at greenroomcentral.com, or even just shoot me a DM over on Instagram. I'm always available to answer your questions. But I hope that today's conversation at least started you thinking about self-care, about your routines, about how it is vital that you keep your routines during your event so that it does not throw you off. It's not a factor that we should introduce into the game during your event. And I think you can see that. And I think that this will make for a great conversation with your team of how and what and when you can do things to set you up for even more success during an event. Flying by the seat of your pants, it doesn't allow you to be as, when you get all this stuff dialed in and you stick to your regular routines during an event, it allows you to be so much more like play from a position of proactivity instead of reactivity. And that is solid gold. I am cheering you on from Portland here on your next event or your first event. Be sure to send questions my way, either in Linchpin Nation or in my DMs and Instagram, and make it an outstanding rest of the week. Take care. Thank you for listening to the Green Room Central podcast. If you loved this episode, then please take a screenshot on your phone and post it to Instagram, and be sure to tag @SarahPfeiffer and let me know why you liked it and what you'd like to hear or who you'd like to hear from in the future. That'll help me know what to create for you. Also, if it's on your heart to host your first or next event in 2022 or 2023 and you need a jump start, let's connect for a strategy session. Just go to greenroomcentral.com. In a 2-hour intensive private session, I can help you pivot, scale, or start your event vision from scratch. Together, we will build an actionable plan so that you feel confident and clear on your next steps. Go to greenroomcentral.com right now to sign up. Now, in case you're curious, this podcast is built on Kajabi. I am loving how easy it is to get things set up, But I'm also loving that my entire business is run on Kajabi within one platform. From my emails to my pages to my courses and now to my podcast, it's all under one roof. If you love simplicity and scalability as much as I do, then go to greenroomcentral.com to get a free 14-day trial from Kajabi. I appreciate your commitment to leveling up and learning the mindset and strategy of live events. Keep going. Keep learning. If you want more, head over to greenroomcentral.com for show notes and all the links from today's episode.